What would you do for greatness? Would you sacrifice your relationships, your sanity, even your own blood? And what if the very person pushing you to those limits was also your greatest tormentor? Today, we're diving deep into the electrifying, terrifying world of Whiplash, a film that will leave you breathless and questioning everything you thought you knew about ambition. Stick around, because this is a ride you won't forget. And hey, if you're as obsessed with intense movies as I am, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you never miss another cinematic deep dive. All right, let's talk Whiplash. So we open on this kid, Andrew Neiman, a first-year jazz student at the prestigious Schaefer Conservatory. And from the get-go, you can tell this guy has a fire in his belly. He's not just playing the drums, he's living and breathing them, dreaming of becoming a legend like Buddy Rich. You see him practicing, pouring his soul into every beat. And then, silence. Enter Terrence Fletcher, a conductor who embodies pure, unadulterated menace. He watches Andrew, doesn't say a word, and just walks away. Instantly you feel it. This isn't just a music school, it's a battlefield, and Fletcher is the dragon guarding the treasure. Andrew's got a regular instructor, Mr. Kramer, who's nice enough, but it's clear Fletcher is the one everyone wants to impress, the gatekeeper to true jazz mastery. We also get a glimpse of Andrew's home life. His father, Jim, a writer-turned-teacher, seems supportive, a stark contrast to the intensity brewing at Schaefer. And then there's Nicole, a sweet movie theater employee who represents a glimpse of a normal life, a life Andrew might have to leave behind. The next day, Andrew is in class, and he meets Ryan Connolly, another drummer. It's a moment of quiet camaraderie, but it's short-lived. Fletcher walks in, and the tension ratchets up. They start playing Billy's Anne, and Andrew feels Fletcher's eyes on him, even in silhouette. Fletcher is a master manipulator, playing psychological games before the real torment even begins. Andrew, driven by an insatiable desire, peeks into a classroom where Fletcher is teaching, and Fletcher sees him. It's a silent acknowledgement, a challenge issued without a single word spoken. Back in the studio band, Andrew finally gets his shot as core drummer, but Fletcher, like a predator, bursts in, and Andrew's initial thrill turns to pure horror. Fletcher's method is brutal. He picks apart each musician, from the saxophonist to the bassist, before turning his icy gaze on Andrew. And then he finally accepts Andrew into the studio band as an alternate. But this isn't a reward, it's a trap. Fletcher summons Andrew to his room at 6 a.m. the next day. Talk about a wake-up call. Andrew, trying to balance his burgeoning musical ambition with a budding romance, invites Nicole out. But the next morning, disaster strikes. He's late. He rushes to school only to find the classroom empty. He's been tricked. The class actually starts at 9 a.m. and he's waited 3 hours for nothing. This is Fletcher's game, designed to break him before he even begins. And break him he does. Fletcher isn't just strict, he's a monster. He verbally and physically abuses his students, a relentless barrage of insults and mockery. He screams at a saxophonist named Metz for playing out of tune, kicking him out of the studio band. When Andrew struggles to keep the tempo during a rehearsal of Whiplash, Fletcher hurls a chair at him. A chair! He slaps Andrew, counts off the beat, and demands answers. Dragging or rushing? Andrew confesses he's rushing, and Fletcher forces him to announce it to the entire band, amplifying his humiliation. Then, to twist the knife further, Fletcher mocks Andrew's parents, exposing a vulnerability he desperately wants to hide. This is psychological warfare, pure and simple. At a local jazz competition, Andrew makes a mistake. He misplaces Carl's sheet music. Carl can't play without it, so Andrew steps up, claiming he can perform Whiplash from memory. Fletcher, sensing an opportunity, promotes him to core drummer, but this newfound status is precarious. In the studio band, they're working on Caravan, a piece with an insane tempo of 330 BPM. Fletcher dismisses everyone but Andrew, and then Ryan Connolly, the drummer Andrew met earlier, shows up. Fletcher uses Ryan to test Andrew, having him play at the impossible tempo. Ryan nails it, and Fletcher, in a move that infuriates Andrew, replaces him with Ryan. Andrew refuses to accept this, vowing to earn the core drummer position. And this is where Andrew's obsession truly takes hold. He practices relentlessly, his hands bleeding, a visceral representation of the price of his ambition. He even breaks up with Nicole, believing she'll be a distraction. It's a heartbreaking decision, highlighting the all-consuming nature of his quest. The next day, Fletcher drops a bombshell. He tearfully announces that a former student, Sean Casey, has died in a car accident. The band rehearses Caravan, but Ryan struggles. Fletcher then puts Andrew, Ryan, and Carl through a grueling 5-hour audition, pushing them to their absolute limits. When it's Andrew's turn, Fletcher kicks the chair, throws the drums, and demands an even faster tempo. Andrew's hands are bleeding, blood dripping onto the drums, a horrifying spectacle. After a minute of pure raw drumming, Fletcher finally declares Andrew has earned the part. But the ordeal isn't over. On the way to a jazz competition, Andrew's bus breaks down. He's determined to make it, rents a car, but arrives late without his drumsticks. An argument with Fletcher ensues, and Andrew drives back to get them. On his speeding return, he's hit by a truck. Crawling from the wreckage, he stumbles onto the stage, severely injured.
He tries to play Caravan, but his injuries are too much. Fletcher stops the band mid-performance and declares him done. This is the breaking point. Enraged, Andrew attacks Fletcher in front of the entire audience, a primal scream of frustration and pain. He's dragged away, his dreams shattered, at least for now. Days later, Andrew is expelled from Schaefer. He meets with a lawyer representing Sean Casey's parents. The lawyer reveals the truth. Sean didn't die in a car accident. He hanged himself, suffering from anxiety and depression after joining Fletcher's class. Sean's parents want Fletcher stopped, and Andrew agrees to testify. This leads to Fletcher being fired. Months pass. Andrew sees Fletcher performing at a club. They share a drink, and Fletcher, in a moment of surprising candor, explains his philosophy. He pushes students to their absolute limits, believing it's the only way to achieve greatness. He cites Joe Jones throwing a symbol at Charlie Parker as an example, arguing that true artists won't be deterred by discouragement. Fletcher then invites Andrew to perform with his band at a festival.
Andrew agrees, even inviting Nicole, but she's moved on in a new relationship and declines. On stage at the festival, Fletcher drops another bombshell. He reveals he knows Andrew testified against him. As revenge, he leads the band in a new piece, one Andrew hasn't seen the music for. Humiliated, Andrew walks off stage, but then something shifts. He returns, and in a defiant act, begins to play Caravan, interrupting Fletcher. The band, surprisingly, joins him, and Fletcher, after a moment of shock, follows suit. The performance builds to an explosive drum solo from Andrew, and Fletcher, in a final, ambiguous gesture, gives him a nod of approval. It's a moment that leaves you wondering, is this redemption, reconciliation, or just another twisted game? Whiplash isn't just a movie about jazz. It's a searing examination of ambition, sacrifice, and the destructive nature of extreme pressure. Miles Teller's performance as Andrew is a tour de force, capturing the raw intensity and vulnerability of a young man pushed to his breaking point. And J.K. Simmons as Fletcher? Absolutely iconic. He's terrifying, captivating, and in his own twisted way, almost understandable. The film masterfully blurs the lines between mentor and abuser, genius and madness. You find yourself questioning your own limits, wondering how far you'd go and what you'd endure for that elusive taste of greatness. It's a film that stays with you, its thunderous beats echoing long after the credits roll. The cinematography, the editing, the relentless pacing, it all conspires to create an experience that's both exhilarating and deeply unsettling. You're on the edge of your seat, feeling every single drop of sweat, every broken fingernail, every moment of agonizing doubt. It forces you to confront the darker side of achievement, the sacrifices that are often unseen, and the blurred lines between pushing someone to their potential and breaking them completely. The ending, oh, that ending, it's a masterpiece of ambiguity. Is Fletcher acknowledging Andrew's raw talent, or is he simply setting him up for another round of his brutal games? The nod, the shared moment of musical creation, it's a complex cocktail of emotions that leaves the viewer grappling with the very definition of success and the cost it demands. It's a film that doesn't offer easy answers, and that's precisely why it's so brilliant. It sparks conversations, ignites debates, and makes you reflect on the mentors, the pressures, and the dreams that have shaped your own life. It's a raw, visceral, and ultimately unforgettable cinematic experience that solidifies its place as one of the most powerful films of the 21st century. What did you think of Whiplash? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're craving more movie deep dives like this, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Until next time, keep those cinematic adventures going.